The Giants, they did Hard Knocks last year, obviously. And yeah, looks like Hard Knocks is happening again, guys. We got the Giants are literally been, and were publicly embarrassed by what happened on Hard Knocks there last year. The Joe Shane and Saquon Barkley mix up there, and his comments about Barkley and how that whole thing went down. You got, you know, basically the Giants showing how little they knew about their own players, thinking that Tyrod Taylor is going to come back when Tyrod Taylor wanted nothing to do with the franchise afterwards. There was just a lot of things you saw there. You saw the Giants literally doing everything they could to get a new quarterback in the draft, and then having to turn back to Daniel Jones. And obviously that was an embarrassment unto itself. Not that much the Daniel Jones era hasn't been an embarrassment, unfortunately. But yeah, the Giants are going to have to go back, it looks like, there for another round. This season, they've decided that they're going to do another in-season with a division like they did last year with, I believe, the AFC North. To be honest, I don't watch Hard Knocks unless the Giants have been involved. Just don't got enough time to do all that stuff there. But yeah, this year it's going to be the NFC East. So it's going to start up in December. It's going to run through the end of the regular season. New episode every single Tuesday. That's going to be kind of interesting because you got to think where it starts is going to be the tail end of the season. So listen, taking apart the aspects of non-Giant stories here for a second, because there's a whole bunch there. On the Giants side specifically, you got, what if things don't go well for this season? Is it an interim head coach or a potential change on the horizon kind of situation going on there? If things do go well, is it a potential surprise playoff run like it was a couple of years ago in 2022 there? Is it potentially the start of Jackson Dart? Is that going to be in there? Do we see how Russell Wilson handles that, being benched for Jackson Dart in that scenario? Like I said, there's a whole bunch of scenarios here that are possible for the Giants there, and then you got everything else as far as the Eagles, them trying to get back to the Super Bowl at that point there. You got the Cowboys, and I think they're going to be a little bit of a cluster this year with everything with that, horrendous coaching decision change they made. And, obviously some issues in the roster overall as a whole. You got the Commanders trying to repeat what they did last year and improve upon that and become an elite team in not just the NFC East, but the NFC. There's a lot of storylines, guys. Ton of storylines. It's if you want to talk about making it a popular show, the NFC East is the division to do it in. I mean, let's be honest here. I know there'll probably be some people that aren't necessarily NFC East people that might fight me on this and say it's not the biggest division there in football. But listen, it is. Point blank, it is. The Cowboys, as much as we hate them as Giants fans, are quite possibly the most popular team in all of football. The Giants, obviously the biggest market in all of football and 4-time Super Bowl champions. The Commanders, one of the bigger markets and a storied franchise, as much as they've had bad luck for a lot of years now. It's a storied franchise that's also got 3 Super Bowl rings, and then you throw in the Eagles again. Large market. People forget it because it's so close to New York. Philadelphia is, I think, like the 4th biggest city in the U.S. or 5th biggest. It's in top 5. And then you throw in the fact that they're defending Super Bowl champions. Like, that's a big thing, guys. That's a big division. Like, that's if you want to ramp up Hard Knocks ratings, you just put it in the most popular division in all of football. That's one way to do it. I just hope there's no more Joe Shane making a fool out of himself kind of moment. As a Giants fan, I don't want to be publicly embarrassed again. So that's what I'm hoping there. And I see the comment section. By the way, if you haven't recognized, there is a change in the live stream here today. This is a new feature with the program we used to do this that just came out yesterday. We have comments up automatically as you put them, guys. So I thought it was a pretty cool feature that is added. So I went ahead and got it added on here today for the show so that way you guys can all see it. So if you're on YouTube X or Facebook and Twitch, I believe as well, it's going to pop up automatically here. So we can still do it the old-fashioned way, but I thought it was a nice little ad there. So as Deb says, I can't believe they're doing that again. And listen, again, I can't believe it either. John Mara's got to be pissed as hell. Like, this can't be something he was okay with. Remember, he said before they did the offseason one, he was asked years ago, would the Giants ever do Hard Knocks? And he gave a take to something along the lines of over my dead body or once I'm 6 feet under, like that kind of, answer there. And yeah, now all of a sudden, 2 years in a row. And again, they were publicly embarrassed by the last one, guys. To be very frank, publicly embarrassed. So yeah, he can't be excited, and it makes you wonder because the Mara family has had a lot of pull within the NFL. Again, there's a lot of history with the NFL and the Mara family and the Giants organization as a whole, obviously, going back to the Duke. But like I said, it just really makes you wonder if the Giants have lost some of their pull within the NFL ownerships because it used to be what marijuana Mara got out of respect for that last name. But I find it hard to believe he's changed course. You can say it maybe the first time. Okay, maybe he's like, let's try it. Let's just do it in the off season though, so nobody sees anything we're doing. But yeah, that's a little crazy now to have 2 years in a row. There's no way in hell he wanted to go back. So yeah, it just seems a little crazy. As Deb asked, they couldn't say no. I don't think they can. I know there was a whole thing where they've had teams that have gone on before that didn't want to go on. Remember, there's a whole lot to be on the off season. Sorry, the Hard Knocks training camp version. There's a whole lot of things like it can't be with the new coach, can't be one that's been on there like the year before. So like, there's a whole bunch of rules about that kind of stuff. How they pinpoint that. By the way, Buffalo Bills is who's going to be the training camp one for those who are Hard Knock people and like to watch all the episodes and all the variations there. The Buffalo Bills are going to be on there. So like I said, it'd be interesting though to watch this one here in season. I'm kind of gonna be curious to see what kind of stuff they give us that we may not be able to go ahead and see. Like I said, it's gonna be fun. I think. I'm hoping if the season goes as like I think it's gonna go, because again, we've said it before the show. I think we're gonna be an average team this year. As Perry Bennett says, I love the G-men, but it's depressing to see what happened since the glory days of LT and Strahan. Yeah, and you got to hope that we just listen. I'll say it before. I'm not going to change course on what I said going into this draft. I said Abdul Carter scares me because of the foot injury. Point blank, he does. Stress injury to your foot before you even step foot on the NFL field is scary. But what I do like is the fact that he is a highly talented player. And he's the first one that I'm not going to say he's LT or Strahan. I think that'd be goddamn ridiculous. But he's the first guy with the potential to be that kind of player. And I don't mean again LT because LT is on a totally different level as far as he's the GOAT, but a top tier star pass rusher. He has that kind of physicality and ability, as we also have, and I'm sorry, I have a little trouble. KXN Dart there on X says Darius Alexander's looking fire there. And yeah, he's gonna be a nice comment, a nice compliment as well to Dexter Lawrence, that's for sure. Again, guys, there's reasons to be excited about this season. I just can't believe the Hard Knocks is gonna be a situation for us to deal with again. Deb says, just read the NFL can force teams to go on, but they're exempt if they were on the previous 8 years. Guess that changed. But no, it doesn't, because keep in mind, Deb, we weren't on Hard Knocks. We were on Hard Knocks off season. And that's the difference, probably, if you look at the language on it. And that was Hard Knocks itself, which is the training camp version. This is a different variation. So the rules simply might not apply. And again, that's something the NFL office knows, the Giants front office knows, the legal teams and all that kind of stuff know. But I really, really find it hard to believe. Because what's going to happen, like let's say John Mara was okay with it. What's going to happen if the Giants do bad again and there's planes going over the stadium? And that's on Hard Knocks. There is no way in hell that John Mara signed off on this and wanted to be a part of this year. As KX and Dart says, very exciting, but yeah, I agree. BS us with this year's Hard Knocks. Again, yeah, it's insanity. I can't believe that we're back into that kind of scenario again. It's crazy.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the Goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you.